Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk. It's brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl and the Belly Up Sports Network. We got a couple of news and rumors today, brought to you by each one of us today. It's going to be a little different and a lot of fun. Our main course today, of course, is about Big V. And we're first, let me throw it over to my main man, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, though? Hey, this is the premiere, people, but don't forget, you can come back anytime after the premiere airs and watch the replay. So it's just not a live show. It's taped and it is available for you after the premiere. And as always, subscribe to the channel, join the family. We don't have fans, we don't have viewers, we have family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. But let's get into the third man of the team. Who?
Mike Jones. Who is Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
Welcome back, everybody. And we're going to go to the main course now. Big year for Big V. All right. Okay. Let's go to Curt.
All right. Now, there's a lot of things happening right now with the Detroit Lions, but Big V is going to have a big year. Think about this, right? I don't think Brad Holmes would have made the move to bring him on the roster if he was the general manager last year, at least not at that salary. Think about this. He's getting paid to be a right tackle, but he's being pushed in to right guard.
Yep.
So, he's not playing what he came here to, and what they're paying him to be. So they paying him at right tackle money to play right guard. And the guy has the third biggest contract on the roster. That's something. So you look at where his salary cap hit would be this year. If the Lions would cut him after June 1st, that's a $10 million cap hit. That is freaking huge. So if now the big thing now, I don't think that they will do this, but maybe if they find a trade partner, his trade value, the Lions will only be on the hit for 1.4 million of that because that's the signing bonus, and they could move him to somewhere, maybe a team who maybe need a offensive right tackle and not a right guard. You look at what Hank Fraley said the other day. He said that Tyrell Crosby may be competing with Big V for that right guard position. I'm like, wow, you have to look at the mentality of what's going on with the Lions. This regime is not the one who signed Big V. And they drafted his replacement. I mean, you really look at it, like they're like, look here, guy. The writing's on the wall for Big V. I just think that it may be where he has to show and improve in camp, in OTAs, or the Lions may be looking on to move on from him just because of the fact that with the salary implications and what's going on the roster, they want guys to compete, and he just hasn't lived up to what he was built for to come to the Detroit Lions, come in to play right tackle, and due to no really fault of his own, injury bug. But I just think that this is a byproduct of the Lions reaching for him and Bob Quinn just making another bonehead deal. What you got, Mike?
Yeah, definitely start off with it was a bonehead deal. You don't give a guy who's been primarily a backup, but he's kind of like the sixth man on the offensive line. You don't give that guy a $50 million contract. You don't. Not because he played good in one game. We've had players in the past who had one good game, okay, and we signed them to a big contract. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was a bad mistake. But you got to think of how Big V has to feel when he's like, okay, I'm about to be healthy. I'm returning to form. I'm about to be strong. And they're like, wait a minute. Yeah, you drafted the right tackle. Oh man, okay, you want me to slide down the guard permanently, is what you're saying. And but I just don't know any guards that are making that salary. I don't. So It's tough, man. It's really tough. He's in a tough position. The only possible thing I could think of that would never happen, but it's just a random possibility is maybe they do something with Decker. I don't know. Decker's like he's a top guy, so I wouldn't see why. But I mean, maybe that Polynesian connection. Maybe they think we got that side locked, and maybe they're willing to heavily invest in the O line. That could also be a possibility because you remember the Dallas Cowboys at one point in time had so much money wrapped up in that offensive line, and look what it did. So that could be another thing, But it'll all come to sense once the season starts and the rest of the moves are played out. If we sign a guard, we bring somebody else on, It might smell doom for him, but I think Big V's safe for now, man. He got his Polynesian brother there, man. They safe, What you think, Jim?
I think he's safe this year, and the reason I think he's safe this year is the contract. Not that it's going to kill him to trade him, but who wants to take on that kind of contract for a person that's not even proven in the NFL? I mean, they were talking about trading Terrell Crosby because Terrell Crosby's contract is better. He started in the league at right tackle. He's a cheaper player. I mean, and he's a younger player. I believe he's younger. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's younger. I thought he's younger. Anyway, so, I mean, it's just a more attractive trade piece than Big V would be. Now, Big V getting kicked into guard, I was fine with that. But maybe there's still some lingering injury stuff going on because I'm looking at the Terrell Crosby thing that he might be kicking the tires on a guard there. We have signed quite a few guards in the practice squad. We still have Logan Stenberg out there. I'm sure there's a milk carton out there somewhere for him. He's been missing in action for a while now. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this offensive line, and that guard spot is the only spot that's questionable to me right now. And then the talk of Trey Turner, if you get him, where's Big V? And that's kind of the thing. I don't know if they get an exemption for cutting him. I don't know if he could get cut even though he makes this much money. But I don't think you do that. I think you ride him out for this season. That's why I say this is such a big year for Big V, because if Big V can return to the mauler that he could be, he'd make a really good guard. And I think the offensive line would be solid. If he's still injured or there's still problems with him where his footwork is really bad still, it's better for him to be a guard. But I don't think that's going to be a good thing for the Lions.
Yeah.
So,
and to Mike's point, one of the things that what you just said about about him getting that contract, and and he's been he's moved line to positions because he played a couple positions in Philly, mm-hmm. right tackle, right guard. Basically, the Lions gave. Just think about this: they gave a $50 million contract to a Terrell Crosby type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They gave that big money contract to a guy who is a backup or a swing player. And,
right.
That's just goes to the mentality of like, thank you, NFL, for just suggesting that we have Bob Quinn as a as a general manager.
Hey, Curt, you know what the NFL stands for, right? Not for Lions.
Not for Lions. But you just look at that. You look at that whole regime and those moves that they made, and yes, he's hit. I can't say that Bob Quinn didn't hit on anything because he did hit on a couple players as far as Ragnow and
Decker.
Some other player, Decker, and but a lot of the players, swing and a miss. I mean, that baseball bat, he was swinging and missing in that draft room with that baseball bat, or just in the office when he was signing free agents, just because. And then some of the stuff was still he gave Fatty Patty what he wanted, and that was a whole bunch of backup expatriates. So, but the Big V thing for me is one of those things where you're gonna have to look at this regime's like, what can we do to remedy our offensive line? And we got to create competition because that's what big thing for Dan Campbell and his coaching staff was creating competition. And no matter how big your contract is, your job isn't safe.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think the best five will play.
Yeah, and and for some fans, and I could understand why they would be kind of pissed off because you're paying a guy $10 million this year to sit on the bench if he doesn't make first string. So
that's not their fault though, and it's not their problem either. Really, because hey, Bob Quinn was dumb enough to do this stuff. And I think this is part of the reason that they're handcuffed a little bit this year, just because of the boneheaded contracts that they gave those expatriate players too.
Yeah,
you know, like Trey Flowers and some of that stuff too. I mean, they're handcuffed to him and Jamie Collins for another year. So I don't. They don't have the wiggle room that they could have, but boy, did they do a good job of what they had.
Yeah.
Bob Quinn, man, I'm telling you right now, if I had to let somebody hold my money, it wouldn't be him. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what?
You right about that.
Right, man.
Hey, man, can you hold a couple dollars for me? Nah. You know what? I'm good. I ain't letting you hold nothing. You know what? I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. But the thing with Big V is this is his deciding season with Detroit. I think he's gone after this year, unless he just comes out and becomes the mauler that he can be, especially in the run game. I believe that he's a very strong person, and I think that in the run game he could be very good. And if you sandwich him between Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell, you can't be that bad.
He'll have to restructure. He'll have to. Like,
absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. He's restructuring that contract if he wants to stay.
Yep. I think he's gone after this year, but it's a big year for him because he's playing for a contract. He's playing for it to live up to the deal.
He's playing for either his future in the NFL is being being played for this season, definitely.
Yeah. But
so now let's. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry about that, Jim. I was gonna say let's go over to the news and rumors today. And I don't really know this guy that well, but Joel Heath suffered a torn ACL during bag drills. I think it was yesterday. The injury bug is back. It's back, baby. So, I wouldn't say this is a good thing, but the one positive thing about Joel Heath's injury is we don't know who Joel Heath is. So, with that being said, it's I'm not saying I'm happy that Joel Heath got injured. I'm never happy a player gets injured. I'm just happy that it's not nobody we know. Okay, so that I don't know. I'm sorry, Joel Heath, man. Much love to you, man, but it's just, man, it happens. It's the NFL. Maybe he didn't stretch deep enough, and but man, I'm just thankful that we don't know him. Okay.
All right, we're going to switch it up today, and usually we do all the trivia and stuff and everything at the end, but stay tuned. We have a couple other topics to cover today, but first we're going to go over to the Detroit Lions on the Prowl trivia, and this is our trivia question for today. In what year did the Detroit Lions play their first season at Ford Field? Do you guys know?
In 2003.
Nope, that is incorrect.
No, you know what? 2002.
That is correct. 2002. It was 2002. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
The answer is 2002.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, according to Val, no. Our winners today, friend of the show, and someone that shouts us out all the time, Tristan Williams. Tristan Williams, thank you for
Tristan.
And he's starting his own podcast here pretty soon. So shout out to Tristan for that. And we had a tie on Twitter. And so it was Alexander Johnson and Go Lions for the Twitter one. So that's your Detroit Lions on the Prowl trivia today. And to participate in that, it is in our Detroit Lions on the Prowl Facebook group, which you can join. I think that link is in the description below. Mm-hmm. And it's also on Twitter. And so we'll be posting the trivia question on Twitter. Whoever gets it first is the winner and will be announced on the show the next time. So now we're going to go into topic number 2 for news and rumors. The NFL salary cap will not exceed 208. Yeah, please do it, Kurt. I don't know what the hell this is.
$208.2 million. So basically, 208. Yeah, in 2022.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's why I'm okay. So a bunch of billionaires got together and said, we lost too much money last year and decided to put a cap on the cap. Ooh, I don't like this at all. I'm going to be totally honest with you. They're supposed to have full stadiums this year, and it's way too early to project those earnings and everything like that, and your concessions and all those things. But the NFL, greedy people that they are, and I did not want to use people, decided that they were going to just, say, oh, we're only going up to 2,000, whatever that number is, in 2022. And it really does hurt the Lions. It was 185 million. It's going up to 208 million, 0.2 next year. And that's the top. That's the highest. If they don't get some of the revenue, it could be lower. So, but from 185 to there, that's not bad for the Lions. And they already have some cap space that they can roll over and a lot of dead money rolling off. So it shouldn't affect us too much. But I just think, why don't you just let it be what it is? You lost money for 1 year. Deal with it. I mean, come on now. Right. Don't make it hurt our teams.
The only, from a business standpoint, a lot of NFL teams lost money last year, and before we move on, but a lot of people that are associated with the NFL lost money last year too. Think about the vendors in the stadiums, and maybe that may be some of that. I'm not saying this for sure because I don't know. Maybe some of that money, it will go to them to kind of punish those guys so they can get paid back for the money that they lost. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm hoping that the NFL does the right thing and say, because you look at those vendors that are in Ford Field, those local restaurants that provide meals and things of that nature inside Ford Field, and maybe hopefully they can, the NFL can give it to the teams, and the teams can pay the guys that lost money for not having that revenue from game sales and parking vendors and all, this all kind of people who lost money. You think about the stadium rights, the paying the rent for the stadium and stuff like that, having games in empty stadiums, and you don't have the revenue from ticket sales to pay the rent.
Well, Mike was saying yesterday that they shouldn't go full stadiums right now because the pandemic is actually still here, even though people think it's left. It hasn't. And because my other daughter's got COVID right now too. So my one got over it, my other one's got it. Yeah, it's crazy times. But the thing is, if it was 50% stadiums, right, they want to get their money. So it's not like, and we want to be in the stadium, but I think they're kind of throwing caution to the wind as well. But shouldn't the fan benefit?
Yeah.
If the fans putting if we're putting our ass on the line, shouldn't we get something out of that? Like have our teams have more money? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
But the thing is I just don't, I'm trying to think like from a business point of view. I just think that they're trying to gain back everything they lost. And that's why the cap is not going to go up. And if that happens, I just don't see them putting money down to the little guy. I see those greedy NFL execs.
I do too.
Owners keeping that money, saying, you know what, we got to make up for what we lost, even though we really ain't lost that much because we've been on top of the game for 60 years. So
they owe people money though. They owe. It's some people that they owe.
Okay,
they owe people money.
Yeah, but you've been swimming in money now for I don't know how many seasons. I mean, you have one bad season. One bad season.
That's what I'm with Mike on this. I mean,
you've
had billions of dollars and you had 1 year you was off. I don't think they're like, oh man, I got to go to the poorhouse now. I need a meal. Right. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's the case.
Every NFL team, let's say like the Packers, they're not owned. They don't have an owner. They're owned by the fans of Green Bay. Like they're on that team. And every market, every team that's ever in every market isn't big billionaires owning the teams.
Yeah, but
you have
the
ownership
NFL is
groups.
doing this as a whole.
Yes, it's as a whole because
owners.
because the NFL does revenue sharing. It's not everything the team, all the ticket sales that the Lions make from the games, it goes into a pot and split within the NFL.
I know.
So, the revenue sharing is just, and I think that's what the NFL is doing they just kind of kicking it out where and then I think it's a contingency plan too, because what happens if there's another breakout and they have to go down to reduce
Yeah, that might be.
reduce
That's a good.
capacity
There
for
you
there,
go.
too.
Kurt got the good
Yeah.
point.
It
Kurt
may
wins
be a
this.
then-
Kurt wins
yeah.
this round.
100% capacity is just asinine, man. Because you're
Yeah,
gonna have
'cause-
it's like you're going to have to reduce the seating. Like you're
So,
gonna have to.
Yeah.
Mike, are you saying
Especially
it's the
the
giant
indoor
petri
stadiums.
dish of wait? You're saying
Yeah.
it's the giant petri dish of Ford Field? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and it's everywhere. How many teams?
Yeah.
There's 32 teams, so 32 spots are gonna have people from all over that state come
Mhm.
down to the stadium, get sick, and then go home.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, especially the indoor
They can go
stadiums. Think
home.
about it. Especially the teams that
yeah.
play in domes. Because a lot of teams are playing open air stadiums, and the CDC said open air is one thing. Enclosed inside is something else. So we'll see.
Ford
Maybe
Field.
Ford
I'm still
Field could
gonna
get
be
some
there. I
of
don't
them
Yeah.
air
What though? Wherever I
purifiers or
go,
something.
they do have those now, so they can install them in it's in the indoor stadiums. They have them where they can attack the virus. They've made some of those things. So all right, now it's time to go. Let's get into the
Yeah,
comment
we got to get
cards.
to the comment cards. But
What-
first, before I
it's-
do the comment cards today, let me give this little announcement because I want to make sure everyone knows how the comment cards work. So you're watching this video right now, and if you look below the video, there's a comment section right below the video where you put your comments in. That is where they come from. If you would like to be on a candidate for your comment card being read on the air, what you have to do is you have to put a comment right below the video, and then we select 6 of them, and we do them every day on this show, except for Free For All Friday. But I just want to let you know how that works. So we'll get into your comment cards right now, and right after that, we're going to have another topic. So stay tuned. All right. Scott Johnson says, I understand your logic, but it's flawed. What? Calvin was paid to give 100% and the best of his ability. I do not begrudge him walking away, but he walked away for the money as well. Okay, my logic was that he was going to come back and they were going to set it up as payments for him to be working with the team. So on one hand, he's getting his money back, but on the other hand, he's giving back to the team too. So I don't know if he's being repaid. This is just my opinion, but no, I don't think my logic was flawed whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. There's a lot of butthurt fans in this comment section today. All right. Turner C. Burley said, though I am glad he is getting paid, I also can tell you that I don't like how he handled the situation. I mean, everybody's not going to be you and how you handled it in the situation. He handled it the best way he did for himself. I mean, I'll put it like this. And are you guys that down on Calvin Johnson? Are you that down on Barry Sanders? Barry Sanders did the exact same. Barry Sanders didn't even have didn't even come back to the state of Michigan. He listed in an Oklahoma newspaper that he was retiring from the Lions. So were you that butthurt when Barry Sanders did it?
Yeah, he was in London at the time, I believe.
wow.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think that writing was on the wall. We kind of look at the end of that season, and especially the last game he played, he was kind of knew he wasn't coming back. And I think, and this is me, my thoughts are Calvin Johnson earned way more money for the Lions than that $1 million or do whatever it is they took from him for signing bonus. He earned way more money for the city of Detroit and the Lions that they could have just let him keep that money.
Right on, man. I'm not even gonna touch that subject.
Oh.
I know I hear it is, but here's the brighter side. King SJ, one of the more logical Lion fans. I have always tried to see Megatron situation from both sides, but the bottom line is they probably should have just let it go when Kelvin retired. The fact that Indy did not make Andrew Luck pay back anything when he retired a couple years later did not make the Lions look any better. No, it didn't. Okay, but Curt's feedback about Calvin hit the nail on the head today, or hit the nail on the head too. Glad to see Calvin play before he retired, and I'm glad that they are working on sorting out the differences, no matter who was right and who was wrong in that situation. Yes. I'm not even going to get into it anymore. That kind of sums it up.
Pretty much.
Friend of the show, Blue and Silver, says, I'm glad if the Lions get Calvin back. I just highly disagree with Calvin and the way he handled the whole situation. In my opinion, Calvin should have given back more than the 1 million. I think the Lions were doing him a favor by lowering it to 1 million. There was salary cap implications. Dude made more than any wide receiver in his time, and he re-signed with the Lions when he didn't need to. I don't know why that's a point, but that's okay. Sometimes people get salty about things they shouldn't, and I think this was absolutely one of them. This is a business move, not personal. The man retired, quit on his contract. Unlike what Curt says, the fact that the Lions never won anything doesn't help his case. And in the end, if the Lions wanted to give him money back to smooth the situation, I'm fine with that, but I wouldn't. Okay, you got a lot to unpack here. For me, I disagree with you 100%. I think the Lions were the ones butthurt in this situation. I think the Lions said, you know what, you quit on us, so we're going to charge you this money because, it hurt us. It hurt our team. It hurt our thing. We charged him the money. Then he got mad, got hurt. There's two hurt people in this situation.
A lot of hurt feelings in this situation.
I think both people could have acted better in the situation. But Calvin just said recently that he would love to come back and work with the team and help the young wide receivers and everybody else on the team. He said, I love the guy. I still am in Detroit, is what he said. So you could see it's kind of working towards that he's going to have a job here. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Doug Prince 72, my favorite year. I go to training camp every year since 1990 and when I moved back to Michigan. So I'll be there July 31st. Sorry about yesterday's cryptic comments. I've been in a lot of pain with pensioners. Well, sorry to hear that there, Doug Prince. I'm personally still bitter with Calvin. Reason, year after he retired, he was out in Cali giving pointers at the Raiders camp while we're doing the interview where he bashed Detroit hard, and fans included. I don't remember that, but okay. This was 2017. I don't remember him bashing the Lions fans. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that part, but he could have.
He could have. I'm not saying he didn't. I get why he retired, but his past comments, his actions hurt. He made the rounds in 2018, 2019. I know forgive and forget. It's like finding out your favorite superhero was really the villain. Oh man, Calvin Johnson, the villain. I'm happy he's happy he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't see Calvin Johnson as a villain.
It's the pinch nerves.
Yeah, I mean, Doug. I mean, you have a lot to unpack. Fans were hurt. Calvin was hurt, and the Lions were hurt. So there was a lot of hurt feelings in this whole situation. It got to be a public spectacle, but I'm glad to see they're working through it. If people are entitled to their own opinions, I get it. That your favorite player, walked away from the team. But I still, again, I go to the Barry Sanders. Is it the same? Were you this butthurt when Barry Sanders left the Lions?
I was
because they took money from him as well. The Lions did the same thing, and that's why Barry Sanders he would just come around for the alumni day and wouldn't be around the team whatsoever. And until that they repaid him his money, he was really not really part of the organization. He would just kind of just show his face and then keep it moving. So the same situation happened with Barry Sanders and the Lions as Calvin Johnson and the Lions as well.
Right. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Or they could have traded him for 3 first-round picks. Big West Kevin says, I can now kick my hopium problems by using Calvin's THC and CBD products instead now that he is back in the Lions family. Go Lions. I'm sure a lot of Lions fans know, but a lot of Lions fans don't, that Calvin Johnson has gotten to that. THC CBD business with another former Lion. I can't remember his name.
Rob Sims.
Rob Sims. Yeah, Rob Sims. And man, that's a business. I actually have considered going into that business as well. Just because it's one of the most boomingest businesses right now in Michigan, period. So from a financial point of view, if you have already built a good reputation in your city, and you're good with the people, man.
Yeah. They they just had their grand opening for Primitive Healings. I think it's called Primitive Healing Solutions or something like
Yeah.
that. For their and that's great. Good shout out to Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims for starting that business. And Calvin saying, he saw himself moving back to Georgia, but he's not in Michigan. He's had family, his wife, his son. They're going to stay here in Michigan, so they're going to stay in Michigan. So. All right, so it's time to move on to the news and rumors topic number 3. Really quick. All right, the NFL altered their roster cutting deadline schedule. This has changed definitely due to the cut down for the preseason games. So they had to alter. They don't have 4 preseason games. They only got 3, so they got to do it a little different. All right, the first one will come 4 days after the Lions' first preseason games will be August 17th. The NFL teams are required to go from 90 to 85. On August 24th, which is the next time after 3 days after the second preseason games, the Lions or NFL teams are required to cut down to 80 players. Now, August 31st, which is a week later after that, 4 days after the third preseason game, NFL teams are required to go down to their roster cuts of 53 players. They're just doing it a little bit faster this year because you have one less preseason game. So you have to get all those guys off your roster right after that, pretty much right after the last preseason game. So it's just going to be a quicker process. GM's going to have to make that, and coaching staff's going to have to make those situations and those decisions very fast after the preseason games.
Yeah, today's question of the day, and I got to get to this really quick. What do you think about Big V? We gave our takes. Give your take and put it down in the comments below. And now we're going to walk over to that wall of fame, and we're just going to let everybody know who is on that wall of fame today. Go ahead, Curt.
All right. Definitely the wall of fame today. We got our bronze members. We have Detroit Drew, Midwest Lion, Bubba Bo, John Kepler, Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike. What up, Mike? All right, Sub C Trap City Boys Entertainment. All right, Allen. We have Bo Garakis, Crystal Wiley, Steve Castillo, Brian Stover, John Martin, Jimbo G. What up, Jimbo
G?
And the Latino Lion. Over here in our silver members group, we have Nomus J, Jason Portis, Cap Ice Cold, Batman of the 313, and Gold Lions. All right, for our gold members, we have Bob Croso. North End Ken had a great conversation with him in the gold members meeting yesterday. Awesome, Justin the D, Larry McQuiston, Turner C. Burley, Randall Flag 606, Miles Gibbs, Randy Prince, the Gridiron Blitz, and the Doctor. Dr. Detroit is always in. To join the Wall of Fame, click the Join Now button in the description or click the Lions on the Prowl logo at the bottom of the screen.
Man, we've had a main course. We've had a bunch of other things. We had some appetizer stuff today, but guess what? It's time for the favorite thing, your favorite part of the meal, the dessert with Curt.
All right, the NFL yesterday went ahead and released the new guidelines for COVID for the players. Now, this was something that, they hadn't released recently. They just did it for the staff of the teams. So for the fully vaccinated players, the guys who have both shots, no daily testing, no mask at the facility, no quarantine after exposure. For COVID positive individuals, now they have no travel restrictions. They can eat in the cafeteria, no capacities on and limits in the weight room. They can use the sauna. They may interact with vaccinated family, friends during the travel. So that's for the guys who've had both their shots or just the one Johnson & Johnson. Now, those other guys who said, maybe, like we already had one guy who said Mr. Decker said he wasn't going to get the shots. He said that their protocol for those guys they're subject to daily testing. They still have to wear their mask at the club facility, still subject to the 6 feet social distancing requirements from the CDC, and they have to be quarantined after exposure to COVID-19. They have travel restrictions are in effect for those guys. They have capacity limits in the weight room, so they can't be around their teammates for that long of time. No meals in the meal room, so they have to eat outside in a separate area. No use of the sauna or the steam room at the team facility, and no interaction with vaccinated family members and friends during the travel from game to game. So those are the new COVID approved player protocols that was agreed upon from the NFL and the NFL Players Association just yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to quickly get to my final thoughts. We had an awesome meeting. I spent three and a half hours in the Zoom meeting with North End Ken. Turner C. Burley was there in the building, and Curt was in the building. My wife Val was in the building. So we had a really good time. You guys got to check that out. You guys got to come. It's an amazing time. You don't have to stay the whole time. You know, whenever people want to come and go, that's fine. Also, Free for All Friday, we have a huge announcement. So I'm going to make a huge announcement right now. Sometime in the next week, we will be having Herman Moore and Lomas Brown on the show. And this is going to be a recorded show. And I want you guys to get your questions in. That's why I announced it early. This could be happening Tuesday or Thursday of next week. So we don't have the date time firm, but it's between those 2 days. And get your questions in for Herman Moore and Lomas Brown, because we want to get you involved in that conversation.
Yeah, man. My final thoughts for today, man, is just the Lions, man. They're moving in a good direction, man, and everything is good. I just don't. I'm sorry to kind of be the down person. I just do not want the stadiums to be back to 100% capacity. That's on my mind so heavily right now. And it's not because I'm trying to ruin anybody's parade or put a damper on anybody's parade. I just don't think it's safe. I just don't think it's a safe enough, because I believe that will make us go back a few steps, probably a couple games into the season. And I really want the season to go through full. I want people to be at the stadiums throughout the whole year. I just think we should reduce that population a little bit.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts for today, man. I just want to see the season, man.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts for today is for me is that, hey, you see my shirt, Shawnee Chan. I will be getting together real soon and recording another episode of the Die Hard Den podcast. So that's coming to you real soon. Hey, you know what it is. It's Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And as always, subscribe to the channel. Join the family. We don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We have family. And it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And go over to our YouTube channel. I know you're right here, but we have some shorts over there as well. Different content is coming to the platform. So be on the lookout for those shorter videos and just some bite-sized nuggets for you to have throughout your day. So, and you can catch those at any time. They're available usually in the afternoon. So new videos are coming out daily. So we got more content coming to you right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Go over to fanatics.com, get your Lions gear, click the link below, and proceeds from that link go to help us grow the content on this channel. I know I've kind of helped this out a little bit because I got an addiction. Okay, and then go over to bellyupsports.com and check us out over there. You can catch today's show and any other shows that we do from our YouTube channel over there on bellyupsports.com. Then you can go over there and check out some great articles by some talented writers and some other podcasts. Hockey season is in full bloom right now for the playoffs, and they have some great content on the NHL over there on bellyupsports.com. Hey, it's Thursday. We're going downhill, baby. Finish up your doggone lunch, sip your Coke, drink your pop, and get back at it, baby. Get back to work. Work hard, play hard, and whatever you do, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, Mike and Jim, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.